say fear. Fear is wakhshaw. فَلَخْشَاهُمْ وَخْشَاوْنِي. Right? Don't fear them, fear me. I don't even want to go down that verse. Right? Because it'll be maghrib. And thank you for staying after. Now, isn't this easier? People aren't looking at their watches. So I want you to tell all the imams that you can shorten Jummah. It's okay. You can. Right? Well, what I got to say is important. If it's that important, the people who need to stay will stay. Right? And so what happens is people stop coming to our masajid. And that's what people don't get. They stop coming to our masajid. Because they know I only got an hour. I know if I go to that masjid, ain't no way I'm getting out an hour. But if I go to this masjid, I know I can be in and be out in 30 minutes. So even if people want to come here, they won't, because the khutbah is too long over there. And if we're honest, right? If the imam would just cut it in the middle and pray, everything he's telling you in Jummah, he can tell you after Jummah. Right? Okay. And have God consciousness. Whenever the Prophet, whenever Omar or somebody, whenever they would see someone, I won't say whenever, but one of the habits of companions, when they would see someone abusing or oppressing someone, they say, do you fear God? Do you fear God? The idea that you are accountable to God for everything you do will protect you from extremism. We say, well, it's because they say they believe in God that they commit extremism. The one who has consciousness in God won't even open his mouth without saying, will God be pleased with this? Will God be pleased with what I'm saying? Now, I didn't know Imam Muhammad as close as Qasim or as Yahya or Fahim, but I knew Imam Muhammad, and I got to spend a lot of time in his presence. For me, I wasn't like Pleeman and Yahya who got to spend all the time in the world with him, but the little bit of time that I did, I paid close attention. And Imam Muhammad would never answer a question without thinking about it. He wouldn't. The times that I was with him, he never just blurt out an answer. Sometimes we already got the answer in our head. As soon as we don't even let them get the question out without answering it. Now, I haven't even asked you a question yet. You don't even know, right? Okay, because a teacher considers everything before he gives the answer. Right? So, if somebody asks me a question, before I answer you, I'm going to think about your temperament. Now, I'm not saying I have these skills. I wasn't blessed with the same skills that Imam Muhammad has. I'm going to think about your frame of mind. I may be thinking about the things that's influencing you, your emotional state, if you're sane. And I'm going to consider all of that before I give you an answer. And the way I answer your question. So I was at a Ramadan session once, and this brother said, can't we have our own Eid and our own prayer? We can address our own reality and deal with our own situations. And so we're in the big Ramadan session, right? So Imam Muhammad's going to answer the question. Now I'm not claiming to know why he answered it the way he answered it. I'm just going to share with you how it impacted me. He said no. He said we shouldn't take away from the spirit of having prayer with other Muslims. When I know he would hold whole meetings and say, if you're not with our community, you can't come to this meeting. But he was answering that question in that audience the way I understood it, because he didn't want to give people a certain amount of ammunition. Because the person that asked the question the way he asked the question, because he was trying to make his point and trying to get Imam Muhammad to endorse it. And Imam Muhammad was not going to allow himself to be used like that. So I'm just sitting back taking notes. Right? Just taking notes. Wow. So, try that when you're talking with your wife. Just think about what you say before you say it. Now, I'm not good at this at all, because I often answer my wife before she asks the question. And she, you don't even know what I'm going to say. Yeah, I do know what you're going to say. So I'm guilty. Taqwa. So Imam Muhammad said there was no police force in Medina. They didn't have Medina Police Department. There was no police force. He said the people's consciousness was the police. The Prophet did not like war. He did not like it. And this whole doctrine of offensive jihad, that was created by men after the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And they're the ones that said this was a principle in our religion. It was deduced by men. You study history of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he did not engage in offensive campaigns. You know what I mean by offensive, right? Okay. Inna Allaha khabirun bima ta'amalun. Certainly Allah knows everything that you do. Turn that off. Yeah, turn that off. Do you know